Hello friends, you're welcome on Learning with L&R, and today I would like to discuss with you about the new topic that is decentralization. First of all, I would like to talk about or discuss with you regarding the meaning of decentralization. Actually, decentralization is the process of transferring and assigning decision-making authority to higher levels of an organizational hierarchy. For example, in our nursing colleges, the main authority for decision making is in the hand of our principal because they are the head of the nursing college. That's why they have authority to take the decision regarding your academic, regarding your clinical posting, or regarding everything related to you. The position or the chair of the principal is the higher for us, right? Then the next one is knowledge, ideas, and information are cascaded down the organization. Here the cascaded means to go down or transfer the information from higher level to the lower level. The principal ma'am ordered us to order to the HODs or professors or the other seniors to do or take the responsibilities, right? Then the span of control of top managers is relatively broad. Here the main responsibility of the decision to take the decision is the main person is higher authority, means principal. Next one is the process decentralization. What does it mean? Decentralization is the process of transferring and assigning decision-making authority to lower levels of an organizational hierarchy. For example, in the centralization, the management give the authority to the principal ma'am to take the decision regarding to the students. And here, in decentralization, principal ma'am give the authority to the HODs to take the decision regarding their subjects or regarding their department, right? Knowledge, ideas, and information are flowing from the bottom to the top of the organization. After that, the HODs or the other faculty give the information regarding the task to the principal, okay? And here, the span of control of top managers is relatively small. The main control in the centralization, the main control is in the hand of the principal. In the decentralization, that control relatively small. Okay. This is the example of centralization. In centralization, the main authority with one person, and decentralization, they give the authority to the other people. And in decentralization, the main responsibility of the other personnel. Then there are three forms of decentralization. First one is deconcentration, then delegation, then devolution, right? We have to discuss this one by one. The first one is deconcentration. Deconcentration is actually the weakest form of decentralization and is used most frequently in unitary states, redistributes decision-making authority and financial and management responsibilities among different levels of the organization. To understand this, the concept of deconcentration, I'll give you the one example. For example, in deconcentration, and we refers to a transfer to the lower level, the central government authority or to the other local authority. For example, the central government give the authority to some departments. For example, the educational department the central government give the authority to the educational department to improve the theory behind the education, or to change the concept in education in our country, and that particular department, the education department, responsible or accountable to take the decision regarding that particular matter. That is deconcentration. The main authority give the authority to the other field to do the work for specific purpose, right? Then the next one, delegation. Delegation is a more extensive form of decentralization. Through delegation, central organization transfer responsibility for decision making and administration of public functions to semi-autonomous organizations not wholly controlled by the central government but ultimately accountable to it. We can also say the shifting of authority and responsibility for particular functions takes or decisions for one person to another. Sometime here in delegation, the manager and leader change accordingly. Means the authority to take the decision to give some particular person, not always the same, they can change. Okay. Then the devolution. Devolution is an administrative type of decentralization. When organizations devolve functions, they transfer authority for decision making, finance and management to quasi-autonomous units of local departments with corporate status. To understand this, I can give you one example. For example, our central government give the authority to state government, and a state government give the authority to the regional administration. This is the best example for devolution, right? Then the next one is benefits of decentralization. There are various benefits of decentralization. First one, empowering employees. If we give the responsibility to the employees, they feel good or feel confident. Okay, relieving the burden. In this way, the main burden relieved. Then preparing for emergencies, because everyone know about how to take the decision. Then more efficient decision making, because everyone use their brain to take the decision, they contribute, they give the ideas. In this way, the most effective decision will come. Okay, easy of expansion. In this way, everyone take their own responsibility, and if we want to succeed any company, they can expand easily, right? There are some limitation also related to decentralization. It's more cost. Why? Because it need more employees. No specialization, because when we give the authority, might be that person not specialized in particular area, in this need more specialists. Then no uniform action, because everyone have their own idea to do the work. No equitable distribution of work, because if the higher authority give the authority to take the decision to someone, might be there is biasness. That's why. I hope you understand the concept of centralization and decentralization. Thank you so much.